When you think of a robot, you probably think of this, or maybe even this. But what if I told you that the robot of the future is actually mini robots? It's called Modular Self-Reconfigurable Robotics. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, so let's get into it. So, what is a modular self-reconfigurable robot? In the most basic sense, it's just comprised of a bunch of different units which can connect together and reconfigure themselves into many different shapes. If you think of something like Legos, you can make so many different things by just using the same pieces, and if you think of each of those pieces as being a robot, that's basically a modular self-reconfigurable robot. They're so versatile, they can complete so many different tasks and adapt to so many different scenarios. One example of one of these robotic systems is shown in the movie Big Hero 6, with the nanobots that can do anything from construction to being used by a villain. One really interesting thing about modular self-reconfigurable robots is that they have something called variable morphology. So morphology is a term used in tons of different fields, from biology to linguistics, and basically it just refers to something's shape or structure. Variable morphology just means that that structure isn't fixed and that it can change. So, for a more concrete example of modular self-reconfigurable robots, imagine that one of these is a robot. So you can see here, we start off with one robot, and that's all fine and dandy, but it gets fun when we pull other robots into what's called a lattice architecture. And then from there we can build other structures, like this cube. And then from the cube, the modules can actually split apart and also perform individual tasks. So now you know what a modular self-reconfigurable robot is, and you want to build one. Well, there are some grand challenges or big goals the field is trying to achieve that you should watch out for. Let's run through a few. First up, you have the big system, or a robot with at least 1,000 modules to prove that the field is truly mature. Then you have something pretty cool, the self-repairing system. Imagine your robot gets blown up. The self-repairing robot can fix broken modules, reassemble itself, and come back from the dead. Then you also have a self-sustaining robot, which doesn't need any maintenance and can take care of itself. But my personal favorite is the self-replicating robot. Imagine you start with 1 or 2 modules, and then they can make themselves the 1,000 other modules. Just imagine all the applications. In space, for example, we don't know what we're going to run into, but imagine a robot that can make the robot that we need. Or, I think the coolest idea is called the bucket of stuff, which is basically just a bucket of robots that you can throw at whatever problem you have. Say you need to fix your car's oil, just throw your bucket of robots at it. And I don't know about you, but I think that's really, really cool, and I think it's the future of robotics.